It's happened. Canelo Crawford, 13th of September in Las Vegas. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Canelo. Thank you, Crawford. Thank you, Netflix.
You know, you've got Dana White trying to get into the sport, TKO trying to get into the sport, Netflix trying to get into the space as well. And it can only be fantastic for all of us. I mean, you know, we've seen the growth in interest, digital numbers, viewership, tickets, since the explosion of Riyadh season and this big investment of the best fights getting made.
In a move that's shaking up the entire boxing world, the blockbuster showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is officially streaming on Netflix. Turki Al-Sheikh delivered breaking news that has sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is officially set for September 13th. In a move that underscores the magnitude of the event, he announced that the fight will be broadcast on the biggest streaming platform globally, ensuring maximum reach. Turki also took a moment to acknowledge the key figures who played a part in making the bout a reality, thanking TKO Group and Dana White for their crucial support in finalizing the blockbuster showdown.
It's happened. Canelo Crawford, 13th of September in Las Vegas. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Canelo. Thank you, Crawford. Thank you, Netflix. Bella. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, all your team in Netflix. Thank you, Nick Khan, TKO. Thank you, Dana, my brother, who he will promote this fight with me. Thank you for Sila, Dr. Rakan, my old friend, Dr. Rakan. Thank you to Riyadh Season, Faisal. Thank you to Fatal Fury, SNK.
Yes, the water's fine. Hit the Tyson bell. Listen, it has been announced today. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford, September 13th, Las Vegas, free with your subscription on Netflix.
Committed to elevating the sport beyond just the main event, Turki Al-Sheikh further revealed that the undercard for the Canelo vs. Crawford showdown will be spotlighting rising talent with a focus on showcasing the next generation of boxing stars.
And this is very good opportunity for the talent in boxing. We will make the undercard, all the undercard, about talent, because we have the biggest fight. We don't need big fight in the undercard. For that, we will give the chance for the talent. If you think you are ready to be in the undercard of Canelo Crawford, come talk with us. And maybe you will have chance. Thank you, and see you in Vegas the 13th of September, inshallah.
Weighing in on this strategic shift, Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts, saying the move to stream the fight on Netflix is a clear reflection of boxing's red-hot status. According to Hearn, the sport's momentum is attracting major corporate interest, and a platform like Netflix embracing boxing shows just how commercially viable and culturally relevant the sport has become.
Again, Eddie, just, you know, a great example of how powerful the sport is right now. You know, you've got Dana White trying to get into the sport, TKO trying to get into the sport, Netflix trying to get into the space as well. And it can only be fantastic for all of us. I mean, you know, we've seen the growth in interest, digital numbers, viewership, tickets, since the explosion of Riyadh season and this big investment of the best fights getting made.
Addressing the promotional structure behind the scenes, Hearn responded to Ariel Helwani's question by candidly admitting that he would have loved to be the lead promoter. However, he acknowledged that events tied to Ring Magazine and Riyadh season are wholly funded and orchestrated by Turki Al-Sheikh, leaving little room for traditional promotional roles.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic fight. But I don't think... But the reality is the promoter of this fight is Turki Al-Sheikh. You know, it doesn't matter when, you know, whenever there's a Riyadh season event or a Ring Magazine event, all the decisions are made from His Excellency. I've been involved, you know, and you actually don't really get much of an opportunity to make any decisions because he makes them all for you. You know, everything down to the design of the promo, to the on-sale ticket dates, to the venue deal. I mean, they're financially bankrolling the event, so they're going to be making all the decisions. I think it's a good look to have Dana doing it. We don't agree on everything, and sometimes, you know, we don't do a fight, but a lot of the times we do. And I guess this was just maybe one party wanted to do it one way and one party wanted to do it another way, and in time they fell in line.
According to Hearn, while figures like Dana White may appear front and center, they operate more as guest promoters, and ultimately all major decisions come from Turkey, who steers the vision and execution of these high-profile cards.
You know, you're not really, you know, you're a guest promoter, and that's really what a lot of us are when we do Riyadh Season or Ring Magazine events. So, should I be doing it? No. Not really. I mean, look, I think Dana's got a much bigger profile than me in America, so I get the move. I wouldn't be able to do it anyway because I'm exclusive to DAZN, and obviously the fight's on Netflix. But no, I think it's a pretty cool move, really. I think it's good for boxing. I don't know really what happened, but one thing I'll tell you is His Excellency will do what he wants to do with the vision that he has, without really taking much notice of the advice or the other people that are working on the shows. I've been around him for 2 years, so, you know, he's going to be calling the shots, and you either fall in line or you don't. And if you don't fall in line, you don't do the job and you don't work for him. You know, I've said before that I don't agree with everything that His Excellency does, but he's got incredible vision, you know, a huge bankroll, and you know, a big appetite for the sport.
In addition, Showbiz the Adult made his stance crystal clear. He's going all in on Canelo Alvarez for the upcoming super fight against Terence Crawford. With the stakes sky high and the boxing world split down the middle, Showbiz is backing the Mexican superstar with hesitation, putting his bet behind Canelo to deliver, but he does voice his reluctance and admits that Terence Crawford is looking good.
I don't give a damn. As long as the max bet doesn't exceed $30,000, all right, because I only got $30-some thousand in my bookie, I'm going to put the max bet down. If it's 20 G's, if it's 30 G's, I'm putting the max bet down on Saul Canelo Alvarez to defeat Terence Bud Crawford September 13th. And here's the funny thing, all right? I am not that confident. I'm confident, but I'm not that confident. Hit the Tyson bet. Terence Crawford looking good. He's about 186 pounds right now. He's looking good, though. But it doesn't matter. Listen, Netflix, that's going to be a huge fight. And shout out to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for doing this. Riyadh Season is all over Netflix, so it's not a shock to me. Riyadh Season, if you guys look at WWE at all on Netflix, Riyadh Season is everywhere. They're putting on all kinds of sporting events, and they're even, you know, a part of WWE, okay? So Riyadh Season promoting along with TKO and Dana White on Netflix isn't a shock, especially when they said that as soon as they announced it in the first place last year. I think it was or some months ago. I forgot when it was. It may be back in March or something like that. They announced.
However, Showbiz emphasized that regardless of where fans stand on the matchup, one thing is certain: the fight is guaranteed to be a treat. Whether you're backing Canelo or siding with Crawford, Showbiz believes the bout promises elite skill, high stakes, and unforgettable action that will captivate the entire boxing world.
They're both all-time great fighters meeting each other. We, as boxing fans, no matter what people say, we're all going to watch that shit. We're in for a treat. We are in for a treat. Instead of trying to find as many ways to complain or be a dick or be an asshole about something, let's all be positive about something. We are in for a treat, and this is great for boxing. You can be a dick 2 seconds after this statement, but I'm just saying, as for right now, this is a beautiful treat.
Adding a layer of authenticity to the hype, a clip quickly went viral showing Canelo Alvarez speaking candidly with Turki Al-Sheikh, stating that he and Terence Crawford don't need to manufacture drama to sell their fight. Canelo made it clear they're not like the YouTuber era fighters who rely on endless trash talk and theatrics. For him, it's about legacy, skill, and letting the fight speak for itself, not manufactured beef.
Because we are true fighters.
Yeah, two fighters, but
True fighters.
true, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk shit about the fight because they want to sell something. The people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fucking fight.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September we will have one of the greatest fights ever happen in boxing, and I am sure of it. I am sure.
Yeah. Because we are true fighters.
Yeah, two fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk about the fight because they want to sell something. The people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fight.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September we will have one of the greatest fights ever happen in boxing, and I am sure of it. I am sure of it.
And fist up. Guard's good. Excellent. Great. Excellent. Wonderful.
Weighing in, journalist Dan Raphael stated that during the post-fight ring interview following Canelo's bout with William Skull, Turkey had announced that the Canelo vs. Terence Crawford mega fight is officially set for Las Vegas, and it will take place at Allegiant Stadium. He pointed out how the decision caught many by surprise, as the date was first the 12th on a Friday, where recent events had been held on Saturdays.
And I mean, the way that it was originally handled in Saudi Arabia in the moments after Canelo defeated Skull to become the undisputed champion again at super middleweight, and Crawford joined him in the ring, and Turki Al-Sheikh announced the fight. They said September 12th in the big stadium, and he, in Las Vegas, he meant Allegiant Stadium, which is, the big 70,000 seat newish stadium where the NFL Las Vegas Raiders play. Okay, and was surprising to some people because the 12th is a Friday night, which was unusual. Given that the mega fights in this day and age are always on Saturday. It wasn't always the case. In the end, Crawford and Canelo wanted this fight in Las Vegas. That's the only place that it made sense, and Turkey knows that. And no disrespect to LA or New York, but this fight is not a fight for either of those locations. Saudi Arabia was a non-starter for the event. It was always, this was always going to be an American-based fight. And whatever happened, they ended up saying once again that it's going to be Dana White. Dana said at his UFC event over the weekend in Newark, New Jersey, when asked about the rumors, he said, yeah, I'm promoting the fight. And then, of course, here on Tuesday, they made the official announcement that it would be still the 13th. Dana would be promoting the fight. They still have not announced the actual venue. They said Las Vegas, but I guarantee you, they did not announce the date.
Dan added that, based on his understanding, efforts are currently underway to finalize logistical details to secure Allegiant Stadium for the fight. Specifically, organizers are working to either relocate or reschedule a UNLV football game that was already set to take place at the venue. The aim is to clear the calendar and lock in the stadium for the blockbuster boxing event, a move that underscores just how much is being maneuvered behind the scenes to make this historic fight happen on the grandest possible stage.
But that part of it, for whatever reason, they decided to make this announcement today, and the venue is probably being tidied up. From my understanding, and I guess it could change, they're in the process of trying to make everything work out to get the UNLV football team, which has a home game scheduled against Idaho State on Saturday, September 13th, to move that game to another location or to a different day, and they would then be able to have the fight at the stadium. If it doesn't happen there, obviously the fight would be at T-Mobile. I have not checked their schedule to see if they have an event that night in that arena. My understanding is that it was an available date.
Furthermore, Raphael pointed out one of the most significant takeaways from the announcement. Fans won't have to shell out the usual $80 to $90 for a traditional pay-per-view. Despite the massive scale of the event, it will be available without the hefty PPV price tag.
It's going to be Las Vegas, and the big thing is it's not going to cost all the boxing fans of the world pay-per-view money. This would normally have been like a $90, $80 pay-per-view. But Netflix seized value in a mega events. They did the Tyson-Jake Paul event. They're doing Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor in their trilogy fight coming up. And now they're spending, I would presume, 9 figures-ish to do this event live on Netflix around the world for all of their hundreds of millions of subscribers.
Echoing this sentiment, Eddie Hearn emphasized that boxing is red hot at the moment, and the showdown is a prime example of the sport's current momentum. He noted that this bout stands as one of the biggest fights American boxing has seen in quite some time, tapping into a wave of renewed interest and energy across the scene. For Hearn, it's a timely clash that reflects just how strong the sport is burning right now.
Watching it back,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
we have to admit, boxing's red hot at the moment, and this is a big fight. You know, one of the biggest, certainly in America, for some time.
However, not everyone is sold on the magnitude. Boxing Ego pushed back against the hype, disagreeing with claims that it could be the biggest fight in boxing history. He pointed to the global spectacle that was Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, arguing that the crossover appeal, media frenzy, and sheer commercial scale of that event still stand unmatched.
Thank you, Shepard.
Cap, the biggest fight in boxing history in the last 10 years, maybe more. Bro, Floyd fought Conor McGregor in 2017. I was there. That same year, 3 weeks later, Canelo fought Triple G for the first time. This fight is not bigger than any of those fights. I don't care. The Netflix, we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's not bigger than that. And Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao. I believe it's 2025. That's 10 years.
In his view, while Canelo versus Crawford is elite from a pure boxing standpoint, it doesn't surpass the cultural and financial impact of Mayweather-McGregor.
This is clearly not the biggest fight in the last 10 years, let alone more than that. But carry on.
Moreover, Ego voiced skepticism over Turki Al-Sheikh's decision to load the Canelo-Crawford undercard with rising talent. He argued that the move feels more manufactured than organic, suggesting that there's an attempt to force the event into epic territory rather than letting it naturally earn that status. Ego criticized the approach as excessive, implying that it comes off as an intentional overspend to artificially elevate the fight's prestige, rather than letting the main event stand on its own merit.
I don't like it. Listen, hey, so your boy Ego, I've been skeptical of something about it. Just feels manufactured. Like they're trying to force this fight into like being this epic fight. They had Canelo fight for the belt versus an unknown William Skull to make it more, because Canelo is undisputed again. Ooh, the people behind this, it's like they're intentionally wasting money. It's insane. It's insane. I've been in boxing over 13 years. Boxing, in my opinion, maybe it's just because I do this every day, it's not really complicated, right? Not really complex.
Ego continued to question the promotional strategy behind the fight, pointing to their upcoming interview with Piers Morgan as a puzzling move in the build-up. He argued that figures like Morgan aren't truly connected to the boxing world, and while certain clips might go viral, the rollout feels awkward and disconnected from the sport's core audience.
Diehard boxing heads that are looking forward and like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it might get clipped up and then you see some Instagram if they say something, but the rollout is funny to me.
His skepticism extended to ticketing decisions as well. Ego criticized the choice to charge fans for the New York press tour, while simultaneously promoting the fight itself as free to stream. He called the strategy unorthodox and awkwardly executed, hinting that the promotional vision might be lacking a coherent strategy.
Then they're doing a three location press tour, and then the New York one, they're charging for tickets. You have to pay $70 or something to go see it. But the fight itself will be on Netflix, with a regular Netflix subscription, so it won't be a pay-per-view.
In a year already packed with seismic shifts in the sport, the announcement of Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford streaming globally on Netflix marks a definitive moment in boxing history. As September 13th approaches, the world will not just be watching, it will be witnessing a new era in combat sports. If you are as hyped as we are for the fight, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for all the latest updates, and drop your predictions in the comments. Team Canelo or Team Crawford? This fight is making history and you won't want to miss a second of it. Stay tuned right here as we bring you all the build-up, behind the scenes moments, and analysis leading up to September 13th.